Hello everyone, this is Dr. Mike Strain, Louisiana Commissioner of Agriculture and Forestry. We're here at Homer's house with Chef Jeremy, and we're cooking up some magnificent Louisiana strawberries. Tell us what we're doing, Chef.
Well, you know, we absolutely love strawberry season. Of course, in Louisiana, you can't be a chef and just not love strawberry season. And of course, when we're talking strawberries, you have to have that go-to strawberry kind of version of a strawberry shortcake. But this isn't the one that, unfortunately, I'm sorry, Mom, that I grew up on, which was like that hockey pucky bite.
That's right.
And you put the jelly inside.
That's right, that's right.
No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do something very simple, and what I like about it, very rustic. So let's just kind of jump in and get
Okay, let's get
what do you
started.
say? So when it comes to the strawberries, we just have some strawberries sliced. And look, if you just kind of mix this in for me, I'm just going to put some sugar on it.
Okay.
And just a little bit of water. Again, we're keeping this all simple, and I really want you to kind of mix that in real well. Don't be even afraid if you kind of push it around, because what that's going to do is we're going to mix that up, and what we're going to put a little plastic wrap over it, and then you want to cover that and let it chill and do its thing and marinate for about 3 hours.
Wow.
And what's going to happen is that sugar and water is going to make a natural syrup, and the sugar on those strawberries, because we mixed it all well, will start to extract some of the juice, and it'll all just kind of mix together. That's perfect.
Looks good.
So we can
Wonderful.
let's set that to the side and let it go. Now for our shortcake, what we're going to do is make a very simple rustic cream biscuit with a little bit of sweetness to it. Okay. And watch how easy this comes together. I got some flour. Now Commissioner, we're gonna do the whole thing here in a food processor, and you'll see why. It's gonna make your life so much easier. Because one thing that happens when you make biscuits is you wanna cut either your fat, your shortening, or in this case, butter. We're gonna put some butter in here. You wanna cut that into your dough. Well, the food processor, because it's going to spin a blade around, it's going to just automatically do that and just do it wonderfully instead of trying to do it in a bowl. And then, of course, we got a little bit of baking powder. It's going to help that rise. Anytime in baking, you're always going to want to add a little bit of salt, because that's going to help the flavors pop. And then finally, we have plenty of sugar here, so we don't need the biscuit too sweet, but just a couple tablespoons of sugar, and that's going to just give it a slight sweetness. We'll put the top on here, and again, we want to cut the butter into the dough, and the food processor is going to do all the work. So we're just going to pulse it a couple times, let it run just for a couple seconds, and the blade is going to whip all that together. And because we're making this rustic style cream biscuit, the last thing we're going to do is just slowly come in with a cup of heavy whipping cream while it's running, and it's just going to kind of just we're letting the mixer do all the work. It's going to mix all this together. And that's basically it. You let it run just for a second, and you'll notice it kind of comes out a little crumbly. We're just going to take this and we're going to put this onto the cutting board. And again, it's a little bit crumbly. And we're just going to kind of mix this together. Perfect. Now look, you don't even have to flour your surface, because this dough, we're just going to kind of work it. And anytime you're working with a dough, Commissioner, you don't want to develop what's called strands of gluten, and you get that by overworking the dough. So we just kind of mix it once or twice, and then we're just going to roll it up. And because we're making a rustic biscuit, I just take a knife. Now, of course, if you want to get fancy with it, you can have a little cookie cutter, this, that, and other, but we're not going to worry about all that. I actually just kind of square it off with my knife to where I got a nice squares, and then I just cut it into little squares. That's all I'm looking to do. So here we got a couple there. If you want to just start dropping them right on an oil pan. And then look, we don't let anything go to waste, just like on the farm. So even that last little bit, look, we're going to take that, form that just until this becomes a little ugly one. I'm going to eat that. I'm not going to serve that at the restaurant. Right. We're just going to put that in there. And now we're ready to pop that in an oven. 350 degrees, 20 minutes, and this is what it's going to look like when it comes out, right there. Boom. So again, just a nice kind of rustic biscuit, and this is going to be a perfect kind of like quick shortbread for that strawberry shortcake.
So Chef, how do you stay so thin if you always eat one of every batch you make?
Oh man.
Yeah, you got that, huh?
Well, man, a heavy workout regimen, I guess. But yeah, so now I'm just ready to serve this. I'm going to take one, cut it, and then we're going to come back. Now, this is what we look like after we've let the strawberries sit for that 3-hour time, where it starts to draw out all that wonderful juice, and it just makes this nice, simple syrup. It's very light, and I'm going to give you a pro secret on how to serve this dish. You serve it in a bowl, just like how I'm doing there, because I want you to really be generous with that kind of juice and natural syrup that forms in there, so it really kind of soaks into that kind of cream biscuit and makes it just all soaks in and all the flavors come wonderfully together. Of course, we got a little bit of whipped cream.
Just a little bit of whipped cream.
So we're going to put a little dollop of whipped cream back on top.
Wow, is that
and
beautiful?
then we can come back with a little hat, put the hat back on top, and there you go.
Voila.
A very simple, rustic strawberry shortcake with a rustic cream biscuit.
Now it's time to try this dessert. Come on, chef.
Man, let's dig in. Again, you know what I love about this, again, rustic, simple. You don't have to overthink it.
Beautiful.
Just that simple biscuit, little whipped cream, and those strawberries and sugar.
That is good. Chef Jeremy, thank you so very much for letting us come here today and celebrate these Louisiana specialty crops. Strawberries is one of our finest crops, and it's a delicious dessert and everything that we've done today. You know, so from the main course to the dessert, it just doesn't get any better than that.
It's been an absolute honor cooking with you, Commissioner.
Thank you.